Here we're going to look at the topic of odds. We are going to look at the odds in favor of an event and the odds against an event. One thing to keep in mind is that when we write odds, we are going to write those using a colon to separate the two numbers that are involved. An event has a probability of 11 out of 21. What are the odds in favor of this event? One of the things we have to remember from our study of probability is that the numerator tells us the number of successes and the denominator tells us the number of outcomes. When we're looking for the odds in favor of an event, what we're going to write is successes to failures. Now you can see up here, we know the number of successes we have, we don't know the number of failures that we have, so we're going to have to find that. But if we have 11 successes and 21 outcomes, then out of those 21 outcomes, all of the other outcomes that are not successes are going to be failures. So here, in this particular case, the number of failures that we have is 10. So since we have 21 outcomes and we have 11 successes, the number of failures that there are must be 10. So now when I want to write the odds in favor of this event, that's going to be how many successes do I have? That's 11. How many failures do I have? That's 10. I'll use a colon in between those. So the odds in favor of this event are 11 to 10. What are the odds against this event? In this case, we are looking to write odds against. Odds against are written as failures to successes. We found the number of failures is 10. We know the number of successes is 11. So the odds against this event, written as failures to successes, there are 10 failures. With a colon in between, there are 11 successes. So the odds against this event are 10 to 11. Let's look at a couple more. If the probability of an event is 2/7, what are the odds in favor of this event? And what are the odds against this event? So remember, odds in favor are going to be written as successes to failures. So what I need to find out is how many successes do I have, how many failures do I have? The probability will tell me that I've got 2 successes, and it also tells me that I have 7 outcomes. Well, if I have 2 successes and 7 outcomes, then the number of failures must be the difference between those, or 5. So when I go to write the odds in favor of this event in terms of successes to failures, I can see that I have 2 successes and I have 5 failures, so the odds in favor of this event are 2 to 5. If instead I'm looking for the odds against this event, odds against are going to be written as failures to successes. Well, I'm going to use the same numbers, I just have to make sure I put them in the proper order. And I have 5 failures, and I have 2 successes, so the odds against this event are 5 to 2. Let's look at a couple more different types of problems. If the odds in favor of an event are 7 to 12, what is the probability of this event? Well, remember, odds in favor give me successes to failures. So here I can see that I have 7 successes and 12 failures. Well, if I know the number of successes and I know the number of failures and I combine those together, if I add those together, then my number of outcomes here must be 7 plus 12, 19. And if I want to write the probability of an event, remember, probability is equal to successes over outcomes. And in this particular case, I've got, let's see, my probability is going to be successes over outcomes. I have 7 successes and I have 19 outcomes, so the probability of this event will be 7 out of 19. Let's do one more. If the odds against an event are 4 to 17, what is the probability of that event? Remember, odds against is failures to successes. If I have 4 failures and 17 successes, then the number of outcomes in this particular event must be the sum of those, 4 plus 17, which is 21. So now I want the probability of this event. Probability is successes divided by outcomes. So the number of successes I have is 17. The number of outcomes that I have is 21. So if the odds against an event are 4 to 17, then the probability of that event is 17 out of 21.